Um, yeah, so today we have
Yeah.
the Decoding Your Awakening path
Yes,
session.
I'm all
Uh,
kinds of nervous and excited about that. I know things are gonna come up. I can just feel it in me. So I'm
yeah,
like,
that's good. It's a good
that's
sign.
me.
Yeah, and you know you're in safe hands.
Yeah, I just
And there's no.
I actually can't think of anyone better to if I'm
Oh,
gonna do this sort of thing. Because you've already instilled
good.
that peace inside of me. So if it's gonna be anyone, I know it's you, sort of thing.
It's really kind. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I have to stop at 11 on the dot to go and take my daughter to the doctor. So don't let me forget.
Oh, bless her.
I'll be in a
Oh,
lot of trouble.
lovely
She
anyway.
she
Oh,
has she just has like an ear, one of her ears is blocked, so we're just getting it checked.
oh, my love. Oh, well, warm flannel will help with that anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, something dry, like a dry, warm towel I usually put on for my little ones like that.
Mhm.
Sending her love because they're horrible.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's so in this session, what we'll do is we'll set up a safe space. So we'll go into meditation and set up a safe space.
Fantastic.
I'll ask your guides to come forwards. They've already been very chatty,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
which is really common, which I really love. And then so I can catch you up once we have a safe space, just to catch you up a bit on what I've received,
100%. Yeah,
and I'll also ask you some questions of you as well, just to
yeah.
find out a bit more. Um,
Will you
I
be
just
able to send me notes or something afterwards? It's just I haven't had chance
yeah,
to.
of
Obviously.
course you'll get this you'll get this recording, so
Oh,
I'll send it on.
fantastic. Well, that will do then. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, got my
my
word.
pleasure. I was going to say I felt like a draft of air uh just below towards me, and it was just a little bit cool. Now it's quite surprising given where I am. I'm in a airtight, dangerously airtight, um, soundproof studio, so the ability for air to flow in here is rare. So I thought that was very interesting. It is windy outside, but it never
Yeah.
gets windy
No,
in a room in a room.
that people tell me I come with that sometimes with like a cool breeze. They're like,
Oh wow,
oh, that's refreshing. Like it's pretty
that's so cool.
like
I
over
love
there.
that.
Yeah, so it's probably that.
Oh wow.
People often tell me that. I'm like, let me send you a hug. They're like, oh, that was so cool.
Brilliant. So let us begin. So we're going to start by taking in 3 deep breaths in through the nose, nice and deep. Hold and breathe out through the mouth, nice and loud. And again, breathe in through the nose. And this time, release what no longer serves our highest good. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out the stress of the year. Continue to breathe deeply and calmly. And now see in the center of our hearts our golden divine sparks where our souls reside. And from the center of our hearts, extend the light cord up through the top of our heads, up through the roof of our homes, through the sky and through the stars, going higher and higher. And so we reach the highest frequency, the highest dimension we can imagine. And there, connecting our light cords into the source of love of this universe. And there, remain connected into source. And just feel that love, that unity, oneness, no judgment, just the safety and feeling of home. Remain connected into source and extend our light cords down through the stars and through the sky, back down to the top of our heads and into our hearts once more. And from the highest dimension of source above, we invite down a waterfall of golden light down to just above our heads, wrapping in and around the light cord that we are connected with. to source, setting the intention for this waterfall of golden light to clear, to heal, to energize every cell and every atom of us. We just allow this now to flow down through our heads, shoulders, our body, our arms and legs, throughout every aspect of us, every dimension of us, and allow this light to fill you with love. And just allow it for as long as you wish. And now, from the center of our hearts, this time we extend the light cord down through the root of our spine, all the way down into the ground, going down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper, all the way down until we reach the very core of Mother Earth, and there connecting our light cords into Mother Gaia's heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time, and she sends her love back. Remain connected to Gaia's heart and extend the light cords up through the layers of the planet, through to our spine and into our hearts once more. And now, together with the light of Source above and Gaia below, together with our own lights, at first individually, we create golden bubbles around each of us individually, expanding our golden light out to surround us about 2 meters out from the center of our hearts, above, below, to the back, and to the front, a golden bubble, a sphere. And we set the intention for this golden bubble that only energies and entities with our permission, with our highest good and our love and our compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this bubble or within us. And that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into our golden bubbles, we invite in our guides, our higher selves. We invite in our ancestors. We invite in Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Haniel, Source and Gaia, for guidance, clearing, healing, protection, self-love, and intuition. And now, through space and time, and actually the same country, we create a golden bubble around Dee and around Jon. And we set the intention for this session and this golden bubble that only energies and entities with our permission, with our highest good and our love and our compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this space. And that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. And into this golden bubble of this session, I invite in both of our guides, our higher selves, our ancestors, our angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. I invite in Archangel Uriel and Archangel Haniel, Source and Gaia. And we allow for a moment, we allow our guides and our teams to step into this session and just to join us in this space with us. And I'd like to set the intention for the session. We are here to assist Dee on her awakening path, to help understand what healing she needs at this time to continue on her journey, what understandings, what messages, what past life, present and future recalls will help her at this time, and to help give the daily practices that will help her continue to progress her journey herself in her own unique way and at the pace that is right for her. And I'm just going to ask one of your guides to step forwards to assist with the communication. And one of your guides has stepped forward. She's like a mermaid. I say like a mermaid because she has she's showing me her like a webbed hand, and it's quite surprising to me because it's quite, she's not one of the 3 lifetimes that I was being shown of you just before the meditation. And what I would like to do is, with your guide's help, just spend a few minutes sharing some of what I've received so far, and then I'd like to talk a bit more about your experiences, Dee, and what you've been going through and what you'd like to learn through this process. So let me share first of all. I saw 3 lifetimes. And you've had many more than 3, but these 3 came through. The first was in this solar system, and it was on a planet that no longer exists. This planet, it has had several names, but it is also more familiar. Its term is called Muntaka or Muntaka, and this planet was destroyed in a war. There was a race on Mars who had developed an energy weapon capable of destroying planets, and what they're showing me is that they created this. They basically harnessed the planet's energy, like the whole planet's energy, and they harnessed the ley lines, the energetic grid that runs under this planet of Mars. And so they weaponized the energy of the planet. And it's a very long galactic story about why the war started, but they were suppressed. They were living underground and they were hiding this weapon. And they decided that they would destroy this other planet. And they focused their weapon on the planet. And when they focused their weapon, they focused on the energetic grid that runs across the Muntaka planet. And so that's how they released the energy, and this other planet, Muntaka, was destroyed within about 30 minutes. So it kind of superheated and then exploded. Yeah. You were on that planet, and you, like many souls, died. I have also very vivid past life memories. It's one of my first past life memories of being on that planet. You and I weren't really connected. Like, we didn't really know each other. But one of your jobs, and I'll tell you my job in a minute. One of your jobs was you were like a protector of sacred sites. You were a protector of the energetic grid, and you, like, no one really knew this was possible, and it kind of makes sense to explain it in a few minutes that it could be possible. And your job was protecting the sacred sites there, and I just want to tune in for a minute to see what those sites look like. They varied. I'm seeing like these ancient kind of monoliths, like these huge like stone structures, almost like the stones are like giant standing stones, but they've kind of been like just kind of pushed over into different shapes, like they're almost like these different diagonal patterns. And so some were like these kind of ancient temples. I mean, that was a form of art, and there was also purpose to it. So there were some of the sites that you protected. They were like in like rainforests and forests, and then there was others that were in amongst fields, and that remind me a bit more of like Stonehenge. And there were some underwater as well. And these were like the portal points, the sacred sites were the gateways to the energetic grid of Muntaka. And so it came as a shock. And also when you died, when you transitioned in that lifetime, that experience is traumatic, in that it happened very fast. It was exactly the opposite of what you wanted. And so when it happened, you kept saying to, like, you were so enraged, and because you're like, it's my job. I want to protect this planet. I didn't even know this was possible. But you felt that as the planet was superheating over those 30 odd minutes, that you had a sense what was going on. And I'm seeing that you could, like, on the planet, we could see what was happening. We could see this like energy coming from the sky, coming over from Mars. So most importantly, you said to Source, you said, look, I want back I want back, and I want to stop this happening to other planets. And in many respects, sorry.
That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, and in many respects, you kind of, like, from a soul perspective, you thought you'd got your wish, um, because you got what you asked for. But of course, um, whenever we go into lifetimes, when we go in with trauma, like our soul still has trauma, we're being invited to heal that trauma. Even when we ask for revenge, we're like, okay, I'll put you in that lifetime, but actually your mission is to try and heal. And so you came into Earth, and I was asking all about it. I was like, when, like, give me, I want to know when, like, when was it? So I kept asking for a date, and the date was 800 years before Christ. And I haven't Googled or anything, so I don't really know what was happening around this time. But what I was shown is that even for the sacred sites that you see today, some were a bit unsure about how old they are. Um, you know, our kind of historical facts or historical records will try and tell you a date, but also the dates of where they exist. There's been many different incarnations of kind of sacred structures on these sites, because people that are sensitive know, like, it's like a huge vortex for them, and so they see the importance of building structures there. And so you came to Earth really to protect Earth. You're like, this is going to happen again. And in there was some similarities both in your life on Montaka, and then also you came into to Earth. You came in as, like, I see you as like a druid warrior. So you're like this kind of spiritual warrior. You were very aware that you had dreams and past life recalls of your life just before that, and Montaka. And this was like you saw this other being, which was actually you, as being something to look up to. Like, you wanted to be that person, you wanted to be that warrior. And so in your training and in your meditation work, you became very much equal in, like, stature and power, and abilities. And you were protecting, so you protected several sites. There was Stonehenge, but there was one other site as well that was further south, and I'm not really sure where it is. It's down towards Cornwall. And I'm not sure if it exists there, or exists in a kind of recognized state. Um, but it's like I'm being shown, like, this path that draws up. It's not quite straight, but it kind of comes in from the southwest of England, comes in up through the middle of England, and then flows up through where I am, like in just off to the kind of center of Scotland, and then keeps running up, and it goes up to Orkney and up past Shetland. And this is like one of the energetic ley lines that is very much connected to the heart of planet Earth. And you'll hear lots of people tell you different things, like, oh, it's in Hawaii, or that the heart chakra of planet Earth is in different places. And you, in this incarnation, knew that you were protecting the heart of the planet and the energetic grid. And so you were very much, I'm seeing why I invited Archangel Uriel in. It's like you were very much like that, the gatekeeper. And so you would literally stand there and watch, like, pilgrims and people coming in and out of the site, and you would just stop. Say again?
People have been calling me the keeper for the last week.
Oh, no way. Wow. That's so cool. Yeah. And you had this, like, the spiritual side of your being a warrior was, in parts in your practice and your training. Like, so you would commune with Mother Gaia each morning. You'd be able to hear, like, the messages, like what was going on in the grid. You would hear, like, the news of the day, like, what's coming your way, what you need to be aware of, how's Gaia feeling. And there was a timelessness to this, that, yes, there was a present moment and there was a concept of linear time, but linear time wasn't so strongly programmed in us at that moment. And so for you, you would know when things were changing. Like, it's like the past and the future change as, let's say, if a wave of negative energy was coming into the area, you would start to hear it in the history as much as you'd feel it in the future.
Feel it in the ground and just around. I'm like, there's a full moon in a few days. I can feel the change, or there's something happening, and people are going to start being really angry. Like I can feel that anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. And so you, and like many of us at that time, what you ended up doing was, when you detected that this same thing was about to happen again, so this same race on Mars was going to destroy Earth, you're like, no, like not this time, not this planet. I'm not losing, you know.
why?
I can't. I'm not sure how many. I'm hearing like a billion souls at that time, and you so you worked with others to shut down the grid on Earth to protect it.
Yeah, maybe a built
And
a web or something.
yeah, and so it caused like a huge amount of trauma because the same people that you're protecting fought you. They did not. They thought they thought you were destroying the energetic grid, which in part is true. Like you were destroying it for hundreds of years, thousands of years, so that it would be protected in the long term and save everyone on the planet. And that those moments are still, to this day, like a pattern of trauma that you feel that kind of self judgment, like I feel your soul is saying, well, some of that happened in my life in Montaka, and then it repeated on Earth. Like, why do I have to go through this again? Why are my friends fighting me when I know I'm doing the right thing? And Guy is telling me I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's a constant feeling of that. Like I've been wronged, and I'm like, I know I'm right, but I dismissed. It would be a feeling of dismissed.
Yeah, yeah. And then for um after that lifetime, so that lifetime, that was really like the key message, was that you were doing the right thing, and that you were following, like you had a very intense and deep connection with Gaia, and she absolutely wanted it at that time, and she knew how traumatic it would be for the whole planet, but she saw that the trauma was better than destruction.
I can tell you
And
how I would never have done it without Guy's permission and
yeah,
consent. It would be something we discussed heavily. It
yeah,
wouldn't have been a quick decision. Not under
that's
any
right.
means. I can feel that.
And and um then there was a following lifetime where you called yourself an oracle, and you were like you're a healing woman. And what I found really fascinating about you is that I saw you in multiple dimensions at once. So people would come to visit you, and this isn't much later on. This is like another within 200 years, maybe. So around uh yeah, coming up for about 600 years before um Christ was born. And you would like be the person that people would seek, like they would seek the oracle. And you kind of reverted to your spiritual side, and you're like, well, I've had a couple of good lifetimes, but a lot of trauma doing both, being a warrior and uh, this kind of oracle side of you. And so you thought, well, I'm going to come back as an oracle, develop that a bit further, and then try and learn a bit more about, well, how do I get better at being both again? Your whole soul. So people would seek you out for ancient wisdom, and they would find you in. It's like you were like a legend to them, and I felt like it was in England, and it was down uh towards Devon, and down in the down like caves down at the coast. And that's where people would seek you. Like they would be looking for you to see where you are, and they learned they'd have to perform a ritual to bring you into this dimension. You were physical, but you enjoyed kind of, your vibration was very high, and you enjoyed traveling between different times. And so even appearing in multiple places at once, if lots of people were looking for you, and they'd ask for things like, health, family, birth, food, crops, they would come to you for anything, and you would often give quite short but incredibly powerful consultations with them. And yes, you were deeply connected with Gaia, and there was work that you did in that lifetime where you began to prepare the energetic grid on its healing journey. So very, very cautiously. Sorry.
That definitely feels like something I would have done. I would have come back as the thing to try and fix the damage, the harm I've
Yeah.
caused.
And yeah, you really deepened your connection again, and you saw, like, you knew that this day would come, that this exact present moment, you coming into this lifetime as D, becoming aware again of these lifetimes and the patterns. And these are just some of your, I'm feeling, at least in the hundreds of lifetimes. But most importantly, a big role for you here in this lifetime and in decoding your awakening path is about you helping um, others across your whole spectrum, from the warrior to the oracle, and with the grid as well. So being able to work well with the grid, it is activating. I don't know if you've felt it or seen it, but parts is fully activated, like it's a journey that's happening pretty fast. Um, and we need you back. Like we need you back in position, back in role, helping, and as much a teacher and offering guidance and insights and teaching people how to connect with Earth, and as much as it is being a protector of Earth and being discerning, you in your teaching, you'll also teach that warrior side as well. Like, how do you be that Archangel Uriel of the gatekeeper to heaven, like helping people have sovereignty and discernment, and because that has been and is a superpower you bring into this lifetime.
Been very important to me. This
Yeah,
got me where I need to be.
exactly. Um, so that is a lot. What I'd like to do is just spend a few minutes, and I'm going to do an energy scan, and I'm just guided to come down at least to the heart, and just check in on healing. And I'd like to connect in those other lifetimes, those 3 other lifetimes, just to help understand how we can help heal you the most at this time. And so I bring down a column of golden light from the highest dimension of source above to just above Dee's head. And I set the intention to clear and to heal, to energize, and to assist Dee with any messages that will help her at this time. And just coming down to your crown chakra. I see your crown chakra igniting. There's a lot of light. Like it's just in like startup mode. It's like it already functions, but it's like you're going through another level up. And so just recommending you get plenty of rest and keep up your daily meditation practice, and if you choose to talk to your spirit guides with intention, that will also help on the journey. And in your third eye, it looks good, and it's continuing to clear and open. And down to the throat chakra. And in your throat chakra, I'm hearing like you saying, like, sometimes I get sick of telling my truth. It's like I'm so tired of constantly telling you the truth. Um, and that's okay. Like, um, you're really just allowing your expression of your truth. And so, like, sometimes I feel like you're when you're trying to express things to others, you're speaking your truth in circles a little bit, and that's causing some like fatigue. And then sometimes you're holding back, and And that's okay too. Or really just bringing attention to it, just encouraging your throat chakra to open up. I'm just going to send in some healing energy. That's really good. And I see you like roaring like this, like you do it when you're a warrior, like you're this screaming roar when you begin in battle. And when you did it, when you do that, should I say, because you'll do it in this lifetime too, is that all your chakras open up in a line and you allow that energy to just flow out through your vocal cords and through your throat. And then coming into your heart chakra. I see in your heart these like battles playing out again and again. And a lot of like you're asking why. Like it's like every little battle ends with a why. You're like, why did that happen?
Yeah.
Because when you're fighting, you kind of like would suspend the why and focus on the task. And then when it ended, you'd be like, but why did I have to do that? Like, why did you have to either kill or stop or wound or get people to leave? Or sometimes you were just like, scaring them. And it's all the whys, like just keep adding up. And um I can see by the time you got into your Oracle lifetime, you began to start answering some of those. And there are answers for you. There's answers in this lifetime too. Every encounter that you have where you find yourself being called to use your gifts and being guided to step into something that's quite new for you in this lifetime. It's always fantastic for you to go back into meditation and really ask that question, why? Like why, what is the lesson that you're being taught? Because I feel like you're sometimes punishing yourself for the um for you, for the times you release your rage when you're in a battle. Like when you're being asked, when you're being guided, it's yeah. And so it's really hard sometimes to discern whether it's you really losing your rage or and releasing it, or are you being asked, been invited by source or by Gaia or by your guides or by your highest self, or you doing the right thing for you and your family and your loved ones. There's that balance. It's not always that it's just you. Everything has a part to play, and so it's really helpful to reflect on that and ask those questions in a very non-judgment way. And I feel like a lot of these whys that still float around in your heart will continue to be answered. And for this moment, I would like to just bring forward your guide, your mermaid guide that stepped forwards. And she was showing her hand again. She wants to place her hand on your heart. And we just bring in this healing energy to help Dee understand and her heart to heal over time and as much as she can, and she's ready for it this time. That all of the things that she's done in her lifetime and her lifetimes before are to assist her soul growth, to learn lessons, to act on behalf of Source and the planets and the people that she serves. And for those times where she made mistakes, for those to be forgiven, most importantly by Dee herself, her soul, and also by others, and forgive others for what they have done to her. And just bringing in this healing light now into your heart chakra. And I'm just taking forward my light sword, which I'm shrinking down to the size of a knife, and just going into your heart chakra very gently, removing anything that doesn't serve your highest good, but protecting your body, your light body, every aspect of you so you're not harmed. And it's just like this heaviness, this darkness that's just accumulating from all those questions and the times you've judged yourself. Archangel Michael, please return to source or never return here again. Thank you. It was just like all the little I saw every like little soul. It's like a representation of all the souls that you battled, and they're like all these little question marks like bouncing around there, like just above their heads, and but they're in this like kind of black, almost like cake of energy. Like
Yeah, what?
you'd hung on to that.
Yeah, of course, still a soul, isn't it? Doesn't matter if they're
Yeah,
my soul.
yeah. Okay, that's good. And then just checking through other chakras, solar plexus, sacral, to the root chakra. It's good. And just helping these align and grounding you deep into the core of Mother Earth and allowing D to reconnect, to continue to build those strong connections like the roots of a tree deep into the ground of Mother Earth, to connect into the grid and to help D understand these messages, these energies of the planet, past, present, and future, and parallel, and connecting up into your guides, to your higher self above.
One of my
It's
birth,
like,
one of
say
my
again?
birth notes was that was gatekeeper, the gatekeeper. Like, and I was looking online and I kept seeing books and things. Like, but that was one of the first downloads I've had was you are the gatekeeper. I just thought I was just thought it was a book or something I was supposed to read.
It's so cool. And it's a big responsibility being a gatekeeper, right? And
I
we
don't know the spiritual meaning to it yet, but I know that I feel that it's something people haven't passed through me, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
I know it's an honor, and I know that I earned it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and to be the gatekeeper, you need to know the gate, and you need to know yourself. And there's so many superpowers that are already gifted to you. You know, some of which we've covered now. There's more. There's a lot more coming through. Um, and you know, for you in the future, yeah, there's lots of things that you can do to better understand what are the practices that can help you, and what are uh, the areas of these gifts that you'll develop into. Um, as being shown, Archangel Uriel would love to work with you. Um, and he's saying that it like being like a lot of his missions right now are like helping people as individuals be their own gatekeepers, be their gatekeepers to their hearts,
Cool.
be sovereign and discerning. But it is also a practice that can apply to, you know, everything from your daily protection to your sessions like this through to actual physical sites, to sacred sites and the energetic grid of the planet.
Such a big thing.
Um, so I do have some ideas for you to consider for your practices.
Yeah.
But before I do, are there any questions you have or anything you'd like to ask or learn about?
Just just about. I just wanted to know about me. Like, is there anything I need to do? Is there anything that's coming my way? I don't even know my capabilities. I've
Hmm.
heard I'm clairsentient, clairvoyant, the psychic, and a healer, and things like that, and light language and things. So I've heard things, but I'm still so new to me, you know? Like I was saying to
Hmm.
my friend today, I've gone from the extreme of you're a nothing to suddenly you're a healer that can really help because I keep hearing that. Like
Hmm.
I'm very unique in what I can
Yeah.
do. I keep hearing that in readings and in things. People are like, "Wow, you're different."
Yeah.
And you know, and then how good that is, and how much I can bring to the world with my voice, with my knowledge and stuff. So it's just a big difference for me. So at the moment, I'm just trying to take that in. It's
Yeah.
very humbling. Like I said, this whole spiritual journey for me has been very humbling
Hmm.
because I've gone from literally one end of the spectrum to the other
Yeah.
in such a short space of time for myself.
Um, that's so beautiful. Yeah, these gifts, there's many you already have, and then there's many that will come that you'll develop. Like you'll I feel like a lot of us will spend a lot of time for the coming years just reactivating what we already know
Yeah,
from previous lives. And so they're very fast to or can be very fast to bring back into this lifetime. And then there's just, our abilities that we learn. um for
absolutely.
for you, and I know this is like it's a fast journey for you, um and it's just like it feels like just hours ago that we were doing mindfulness meditations to suddenly being galactic, and talking about souls and how you're going to help the whole planet.
Yeah,
And it's okay to just acknowledge and hold space for your journey is fast,
yeah,
and for you to understand that, um, you're a teacher, that there is so much of what you're reactivating and developing again in this lifetime that you will teach to others. And
warrior, protector. That's what I feel like. I really feel like I'm supposed to help individuals as well as a big thing like that I
yeah,
do separate. Like it's like my day-to-day job will be the teacher,
yeah,
but then I'll finish my day job and I'll spend the evening healing. Kind of feeling. That's the kind of feel
yeah,
I've got. It's like
that's right.
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. um and I was going to say that I'm being shown so many things. I feel that, uh oh yes, this clear message that, do it once then teach it. And it's really hard, right? Like, there's so
But
many things I've done.
doing everything I've been
Sorry.
learning, I've been teaching, passing that on, like talking about
Yeah,
like the mindfulness stuff with you or other things I'm learning in my other YouTube classes and things.
yeah,
I'm doing it, and then I'm the first, and then the situation will come where I'm talking to somebody about what I've been doing, and I'll be
mhm,
like, yeah, it's just this mindfulness technique, or yeah, it's just this Reiki healing technique, and I'll
yeah,
talk about, it, and then they'll be like, what do you mean? Tell me more. So then I'll show them how, and they're
yeah,
like, wow, that's transformation. So I'm
yeah.
already doing that. I'm learning it once, and I'm passing that on without
That's so
even me.
cool. Um, so yeah, very, very much you're being invited to be, um, in the understanding that you're a teacher, of some of these things. It's almost like like you're in the classroom already about to teach your class, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I haven't spoken light language in this lifetime yet. And so you go in the cupboards, you do a bit of meditation, you try it out a few times, you come back out and say, all right, class, here we go.
you
Um,
go.
and it's and I think having that like expanded awareness of your capabilities and the responsibility that comes with it is a helpful way of of not restricting yourself, and it'll help you
Right.
run at a pace that you feel happy with. And I feel like sometimes you'll do something, once or twice and say, I'm going to wait a little while until I teach the class, but I'm I'm going to
Better
practice
myself.
it
So, yeah.
until you're happy. So there's no rush, but there is absolutely the capability there. Um, and I'm just going to ask a bit more about your daily practices. So okay, so I'm to ask you, how's your meditation and mindfulness practice going?
I've not been doing it as much where I've not been well, but I've been had the thing there. But I have been holding space and focusing on the rest side of things. Something's
Hmm.
told me stop learning, rest.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I've been.
oh,
And
that's
then I
good.
got sick right after, and I thought, okay, maybe it's that. But yeah, no, I do want to get back into that, but I haven't been really much the last few days. Been
Yeah,
doing it instead, so which is
that's
mindfulness
so
itself, I think.
yeah,
Anyway,
it's the right thing to do. Is, every day is a self care day, and every
yeah,
day that you put your self care first, is a much better day.
Well, that's what I've just been feeling like. My body just needed me to stop. Like I was
Mhm.
getting burning heads and stuff. I was like, okay, I need to stop. Like the
Yeah,
energy or something, I don't know. But I need
yeah,
to breathe. I need to rest. So that's what I've been
absolutely.
doing. Kind of like my sleep
And
more.
yeah, I see for you that as you develop these gifts, like it's a huge amount of um uh it takes a lot of energy for our human forms to absorb these new gifts. And this is, plus we're bombarding with what's going on in the universe, with across the planet, what's going on in our own lives. And so yeah, you're also invited to like be clear about when you want to rest, and to see the rest as being productive. You know,
Yeah,
be
I'm
firm, because you'll teach it too, right? You'll be
yeah,
teaching people, this is the time when you feel like a bit like this. That is the time you stop and you rest and you listen to your body and you find
yeah.
out, like, learn a little, ask why your body wants rest, and
Okay, I
be
haven't been
really
able to
loving
find
and supportive.
like okay, I've just had the desire to just stop. So
Yeah.
and I notice I'm sleeping really deep at the moment. So
Mhm.
whilst I'm not really getting like 8, 12 hours, but I'm
Yeah.
sleeping deep. I'm getting 4 to 6, but it's deep. Nothing's
Yeah.
waking.
But that's good. Okay, so let me talk through some practice I'll suggest. You don't need to take all of these or any of these. You don't. Some will
No,
resonate and some won't.
but I welcome
Um,
advice anyway.
there's quite a few. So the yeah, for your daily meditation, like your morning routine,
Yeah, I
to um to you could look at, for example, the spirit guide meditations that I have now. I think there's like five or so
yeah,
on
I'm gonna
my
say
website.
I'll check the ones that you have anyway. I really like your stuff and the way you
Oh,
do that.
fantastic.
Your
Thank you.
songs as well. I really like listening
Oh,
to your songs with a
that's
cup of tea
kind.
or something. It's
um,
helpful, you know.
oh, thank you. Uh, so yeah, that practice, like, be really clear about your intentions. And I feel like some of those intentions you can set when you meditate will be grounding deeply into earth and wanting to talk to her. So like, I have a spirit guide meditation. You could use that same format where you're literally just meditating to a deep state and asking a question. You can use that same approach for talking to Mother Gaia, for
Oh,
connecting into
cool.
the grid. You can like just insert whatever intention you wish, and I'm pretty sure I give enough space in the guided version.
Yeah.
Or you can just do your own.
I'll do the I don't really set the intention. For whatever
Mhm.
reason, I will just sit and I'll do the meditations or I'll do the
Yeah,
thing, but I don't do like, okay, I want to go to sleep tonight, I want to connect to my whoever,
yeah,
I'm at a bath. I will be in a bath and I will say,
yeah.
guys, can you please, help clear whatever for me or
Mhm.
help me think clearer and things
Yeah,
like that. But I don't think I massively set the intention. I'm still learning all that.
yeah. It is. Yeah, I just recorded. I'll upload it probably later today. But I just recorded a video about speaking light language, like safe ways of speaking it, and
Yeah.
which I'll also do a meditation on.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
in that video, I only talk about intention. It's like intention probably more than light language, and
Yeah.
yeah, you setting your intention is just the single most important thing, because every time you set it, you change the universe and the reality around you with that intention.
Yeah, then I need to really learn how to do that and to do that
That's
properly
right.
then.
Um, and yeah, and being a gatekeeper, right? Like, it is such a huge part of your job. Like, you know the thing you're protecting and why you're protecting it, and your intention of protection. um you can extend out to, like you've said, like, you're also a really powerful healer. um and so the something you could do later in the day, like in the afternoons or evenings, is to connect. Like, I would try connecting with doing phases of different gifts. So for instance, if you felt drawn to talk light language next,
Okay.
then you would do a short meditation, um set the really set the intention for where, like, who you want to channel in your light language, or whether you want it to come from like your soul and your soul language. Like, just set that clear intention, allow it to flow. Doesn't matter how silly it sounds to you or whether you understand it or not. You're safe in your meditation space and in your intention. And I feel like, remember, like, whenever you're going through these first times, the first experiences, remember those, because they are golden. All those feelings of like, this is ridiculous, this feels strange, or this feels perfect, I've always wanted to do this. Like
Yeah.
all those emotions and feelings, you're gonna, next time you teach someone,
You're
you'll be able
gonna
to share that, and you say, when I first did it, this is what happened. The kettle boiled, and I was speaking dragon-like language at the same time. When it stopped, like, it gave me a fright, or whatever it is that happens. They will love to hear.
excited and I'm
um
open for it all. So I think I would anyway.
and and then at nighttime, so you're being called to assist in nighttime missions. And the
So
way they often work is, when we go to sleep, we'll join a team of about 8 people.
yeah.
We'll work with different galactic races. We'll work in different dimensions. Often, a lot of our work is in the fourth dimension, clearing up unwanted entities and energies from the fourth, kind of like the upside down in Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be good.
that's what we're that's what we're sorting out. And what you were saying about your sleeping is that, whilst it's amazing to help the universe and to do these missions at night, when you're
Yeah,
not feeling up to it, set the
so
intention before you go to sleep and say, "Oh, tonight's a night off.
yeah,
Tonight is my night, and it's self-care night." And your guides will listen, and they will like opt you out of those nights missions. And it doesn't, like, I think for me, they went on for years, and I just didn't know what was going on. I'd wake up very tired and fatigued, and think when things were actually pretty good in my life, and physically I felt good. And it was only when I more consciously asked, like, well, what was that mission like? Or can you show me some of it? A lot of it's hidden from us for good reason.
of course it.
Um, but you can ask, like, I often get shown the debriefs, which are really funny. Like, I get like shown, like, trying to remember. You have to, like, I've been sat at a computer and someone's been saying, "Okay, John," or they say, "Okay, what's your name?" And I'm like, "My name's John." They're like, "Right, what year is it?" And I'm like, "1984." And it's like, you're not going back until you get the year right. And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
right.
okay." And that was a really vivid, like, lucid dream for me. So you might, you pick up some of these things, and you might also pick up some of the more kind of galactic nature to it, like,
Yeah,
the briefing. So, you're going to a place, it's maybe abandoned, or maybe sometimes the inner city, and maybe they're underground, wherever they are. You get a sense of the briefing. So just being aware of, that happens, and that you can ask your guides to give you a break. And finally, um, during the day, so the kind of very spiritual side of mindfulness is like, um, this practicing of becoming aware of your gifts throughout the day, and trying them in different ways. My thing I love doing, I'm after taking my daughter to the doctors, I'll
yeah, you
be
got
doing
one.
my chores. I'll be doing my hoovering and polishing and clean the bathrooms. I find that an amazing time to, I often, like, speak out loud. I'll be speaking a lot of light language, which I love doing in the bathroom, because of the reverb so good.
Yeah,
And I often, like, reflect on, like, what are the new gifts coming in, and what would I like to, clairaudience, sentience, whatever it is that feels a bit tingly, and you might want to explore it. These are like perfect things to spend a moment with, and to play with them, because your meditation is great fun, but real life, your whole day, your whole life is an opportunity to practice.
for sure. There is moments in between, right?
That's it. So,
Thank you.
as I'm up on time, I'd like to just bring our session to an end. And so I'd like to thank our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Haniel, every soul that's participated in this session. And I'd like to leave Dee's protective bubble in place that we set up at the beginning, and for us both to step out of the session bubble that we set up at the start. And I'm just going to bring down and close that session bubble just shrinking down its golden bubble and asking us both to, and our guides, to disconnect our energies, to take a step back and to give the space, and to know that you can contact me anytime.
Thank you.
Just reach out to me across any dimension, and I'll just give that session remnants to Archangel Michael. Please return to source or never return here again. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so it is. And yeah, I'll send on the recording. And if you have any questions, or feel free to share what you experience, especially over the next 3 days. Continue to get plenty of rest and drink plenty of water. And if at any time anything feels too much, um,
Just say
you
something. So
yeah,
what
say
I'm going to
something.
experience,
And
sorry, I
yeah,
had a call coming in. You went muted. I'm going to experience whatever next couple of days to rest and drink water.
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
we
if
get
anything,
putting here.
if anything comes in, like any of your like upgrades that you're going through, any integrations that
I feel
feel a
like I'm
bit,
going through something. I keep getting like really warm head and things,
yeah,
and my stomach keeps knotting. So something's happening.
um, yeah. And the best thing to do is to, if it ever becomes a bit too much, just ask your guides. Just you can just say it out loud and say, guides, give me, an hour off, the evening off,
Yeah.
a day off, 2 days off, because you'll just basically be given, now that you've asked for it, the healing at the right pace for you, and it's your decision about what sort of pace
Oh,
you go
that's
through.
fantastic. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I'm like, I know it's gonna be incredible, and I know because like it said, I keep hearing that I'm gonna make a difference, that I'm
Yeah,
important for whatever's going on. Um,
you absolutely
I'm,
are.
yeah. So it's flattering and it's honoring and it's humbling, and I know that it's time for me as well. I just have this feeling in me that it's just simply my time.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Well,
So
thank you.
thank you.
I'll send on this video, and I
Thank
wish
you.
you a beautiful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Send
Take
me the
care.
thing to the little one. It's horrible.
Thank you. That's kind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Take
care,
care.
yeah?
Sending love.
Bye.
Bye.